So how long should it take? Because we're talking about you might stumble through it a little bit. Is it like a personal budget where it may take 90 days to stick with it, or is it different with business?
I think preparing it, you're probably going to be better at it than you would be on a personal budget because you already have all the components. And again, depending on how long you've operated the business, you can tell very accurately what's going on if it's been a while. So no, it won't take that long. It shouldn't take 90 days to get it going. The first 30 days, you'll have some adjustments, but the big thing is to get in the rhythm of running your business properly, which means I'm going to do a budget and then I'm going to check the P&L next month against that budget and go, okay, how closely did we hit it? And then we've got to adjust.
So let's say I'm a new business owner. I haven't done a budget. How would you walk me through the different components of what I need to be looking at and writing down, or using a piece of software to start thinking about this?
What the truth is that if you're starting a business, you probably already have it in your head. You do need to write it out, and you do need to develop a program here. But okay, we're going to sell these widgets, and we're going to sell them for $5, and we're going to sell 100 of them. Well, that's $500 of revenue, okay? And so our revenue prediction is this, and then how are we going to spend that? We've got payroll is usually the largest if you've got payroll. If you get 10 or 20 or 100 or 1,000 people, it's usually your largest line item in your budget. And you've got rent and or whatever your building cost is. You've got cost of goods if you're doing a hard good, or if you're doing a service that's payroll usually in that case. So you just start going down through there. Okay, what are we going to spend on marketing, and what are we going to spend on the production of the product, and we have to pay the light bill and whatever. I mean, you kind of have these things in your head. They're loosely there, but putting them down on paper gives you tremendous power over them. Instead, when they're floating around in your brain only as chaos, they have power over you.
Yeah, that's interesting. When it comes to budgeting for a big purchase, how does that fit into that budget? Let's say I've got to get a piece of construction equipment that's $100,000.
That's just more saving than it is budgeting. That's just saying, okay, I need a piece of construction equipment, and I need it in. I can put $20,000 a month towards that, and it's $100,000, and so I can do it in 5 months. Or it's going to take me a year. It's $8,000 a month. $8,300 a month gets me there in a year. So how much can we put towards it? And then that tells us when we can purchase it. Not, we need it today and we're going to buy it anyway. That's debt.
Yeah.
And but what that causes you to do is predict out into the future. And the interesting thing is when you start spending dollars on your business expenditures that you've actually saved, you are better at it. You'll buy a different piece of equipment. For instance, I get we're building these studios, these podcast studios and these broadcast studios, both all through this building. And I get the predictive budget in, and I went, oh my God, you're kidding. We're going to spend what? Because this equipment to do this crap is expensive.
Insane.
It's cray-cray. And so, I'm like, all right, I got to understand, because I just got sticker shock. I just fell over and passed out. Now wake me up. And so, but then you look at it and you go, okay, once you adjust it from what the engineer's wish list is to what is a good idea, that is a quality situation, not all the way down to where it doesn't function, okay, but somewhere in, some common sense adjustments to it once you understand what's going on, then you say, all right, that's the number. Now, where are we going to get that money? How long is it going to take us? And then, so when are we going to build those studios? Are we going to do them one at a time? Are we going to do them all at once? Are we going to, how many of them are going to be ready when we move in the building? And then over the next year, we're going to build them out, as cash flow, and as the need is there and those kinds of things. We don't need to build them all out if we don't need them. We need them. Okay, then when are we going to get them done? And so you just start laying that out. And the same thing's true with that's a big expenditure for us around here. We spend a lot of money on technology, on the hard boxes that cause this stuff to happen. And so again, that's like buying a piece of construction equipment. It's like buying a service truck for your business. That's a big purchase. And so you've just got very few people can just do that in the month.
Yeah.
You can just go, but it's, Christmas is in December, so we're going to save for Christmas a little bit at a time, and rather than that, let it surprise us. You've got a 200,000-mile service truck. you probably need to start working towards the next one, a replacement, instead of waiting on the thing to lay down and then you have an emergency.
Yeah.
It's a predictable event that truck's going to lay down. And so let's start saying, all right, 5 months from today, we're going to buy a truck and it's $20,000. And so here we go. We're going to save so much a month and get there so that we can do this at that month.
So where does that money come from? We're talking about
Profits.
Savings, just straight profits.
It comes out of your retained earnings.
Okay.
The retained earnings formula that we had earlier. And, you can adjust that get out of debt formula a little bit for those 5 months if you want to. Say, okay, we were going to put 85% towards debt, 15% in retained earnings. Well, we still got to get this stinking truck. We're going to have more debt, right, when it lays down. So, all right, we're going to adjust that down to 75%, put that 10%, and save up the money for the truck. But it's just a savings program inside the business to do your large purchases.
And we know this budgeting stuff works, which is good news. And a great example of this is the building we're sitting in right now. I mean, this was a $70 million building paid for in cash, much to people's chagrin who say, oh, Dave took out debt to build out. There's no way he did it. And you did it really through budgeting.
Yeah, that's exactly what we did. And that's, just like we talked about a while ago, it's a very large purchase with a lot of zeros and a lot of money. Blows my mind emotionally to this day. But we stood back and the first thing we did was we closed on the ground, which was $10 million, for the first 47 acres we bought for this campus. And then we said, all right, we're going to sat down with the CFO and said, out of our profits, how are we going to get there and when can we get there? And we didn't start the building until we knew that we could meet the cash obligations of the construction budget. And so that, of course, we didn't have it all saved up before we started, but we knew we could get there unless something blew up. And if something blew up, we would have just stopped construction until if there had been a pandemic that shut down our revenues in the middle of it, we would have just stopped construction. As a matter of fact, we had the other building, the second building, going, another $50 million, during the pandemic. And one of the DEFCON 2, DEFCON 3 things was to stop construction over there. We did not end up stopping construction, but we could have to stop that drain on the budget.
Yeah.
Because I would rather, I'm going to meet payroll before I continue construction. And so what are your priorities? They're there.